So, if you are serious about growing your production and building a business that doesn't stop when you do, then these weekly mastermind drops are going to be for you. I'm going to pull back the curtain on exactly what's working right now for top agents across the country. So, let's get to work.
All right. Good morning, Freedom Team. What do we have here? Monday, June 23rd. Crazy to think we're almost in July. Unbelievable how fast everything's flying. But anyway, we're so fortunate and blessed. I know I may say that quite often, but I just read your bio and went, oh my gosh. I'm like, now I'm nervous to even interview you now, Jana. So first of all, let's kick this off, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Shoot a quick text to anybody you might have there in your group. Say, listen, you got to come hear this young lady. This is pretty amazing. So here we are. Jana's background, quick bio. High energy, driven real estate leader with a career spanning nearly 3 decades. And hold on one second. Do you by chance have the way to let them in? They're starting to pop in. Do I need to give you Kelly?
Yeah, make me co-host. I'll help.
Uh, there we go.
Let's let them in. They're realtors. They're running
That's
3 minutes
right.
in.
Make co-host. There you go. Boom. All right, let's try this again. Here we go. Miss Jana Caudill, take your seat and listen closely. She is a high energy, driven real estate leader with a career spanning nearly 3 decades. She started at age 4, at over 1 billion in sales. Since launching her business in 96, she has made her mark as the first KW franchise owner in Indiana and rose to become the #1 KW agent nationwide. Pause for a minute. Nationwide. That is unbelievable, Jana. Her achievements earned national recognition from Forbes, Lore Magazine, and the Wall Street Journal based on her team's consistent ranking among top performers in the real estate industry. Following her time as a broker owner and regional director with KW, Jana opened her own independent brokerage, Red Key, continuing her commitment to leadership and growth. She later aligned with eXp Realty, where she is now celebrating 7 years of collaboration and innovation. Janet continues to lead the Jana Caudill team, a top producing group serving clients across Northwest Indiana and Southwest Florida. She is a founding member of eXp Realty's luxury division. Oh, a founding member. Wow. And currently serves as an advisory council guiding the growth and direction of the brand's presence in the high end market. Jana remains actively involved as a real estate agent, team leader, and mentor, dedicated to helping agents, team leaders, and entrepreneurs build thriving, sustainable businesses. Grounded by the Midwestern roots and relentless work ethic, she pairs integrity with forward thinking leadership to remain a steady force in a constantly evolving industry. Jana's organization, the Caudill Crew, currently sitting at 235 on her team with 86.8% in residential, 7.2 in commercial, and 6% in referral. She has 36 FLAs, and of the 235, 16 agents are currently in our team between Indiana and Florida. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Jana, we are so excited to have you here, dear. Truly are. Feel very fortunate and blessed. Congrats on your career. 30 years in real estate. That's amazing. So you have seen a lot of the ups and downs.
Yes.
Were you at the conference kickoff? Was it February, March when we were down in Florida? I'll never forget when I think it was Glenn. I don't think it was Leo. I think it was Glenn on stage when he said, do you guys realize in 2024, 71% of the agents, which was about 1.5 million in North America, did not sell one house? Did you hear him say that on stage?
No,
He
I
said
did
it's
not,
the,
but
the
that's
worst real estate industry in 35 years. I always say that really as a positive, meaning, boy, if you just made it through 2024 and you're at all starting to pick things up, we
mhm.
lost probably 25 to 30% of the agents nationwide. So for all of us, we can pick up that much more market share. So feel fortunate for those who pushed through and made it, right? Because we had a lot of people leave the industry last year or in the last year or two. But why don't we start off? Thank you again and congrats on your background. But why don't we jump into, you've been doing this for 30 years. We don't necessarily have to go back and go through it all. We know you all incredible at KW. So why don't we start with when I'd love to, because I don't know it all. Would love to know, how did you first hear about EXP? How were you introduced? Who was it? And what was it that made you make the move?
Okay. So I actually heard about it when there were only 300 agents with the company, and it was ex-fellow EXKW people that I knew.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you want me to name names or anything, but
You can drop a name.
okay, so obviously, Gene Frederick and I were regional directors together at Keller Williams when way back, right? Like we were co-RDs at the exact same time. So I knew a lot of KW people, and I knew everyone from the top, across the country. So, I'd been with that company. I loved it. I was a KW girl. I drank the Kool-Aid big time. Like I said, we were the first franchise owners in Indiana. So, it was like no one had heard of Keller Williams when we brought it. I totally believed in it. It was great for my career. I learned everything from leveraging, like team building, right? Like I truly learned how to master the MREA book and leverage. I have 4 children, so I was busy having babies and running, building my career and the OP of my office. So it was like a lot, so I had to really master leverage at a high level. But it definitely was some of my KW people I noticed, and they made a phone call to me, but honestly, I was not open-minded at all.
Yeah.
I did not want to go back to any kind of a franchise or people. I had a kind of a bad fallout and experience at the end with them. And I just was like, what do they say? The cat that sits on a hot stove doesn't set on a stove again, hot or cold, because they're afraid they're going to get burnt. So I needed someone to like really open up to me and say, listen, Jana, I know things didn't go so well over there, but this company is a little different. And here's, you know what I mean? So, but everyone was just like sending me this calculator and telling me, they weren't really telling me the value stack and the economic model. And, they were just kind of like not really recruiting me in a way I needed to be recruited, to be honest with you. So so I said no. I didn't even listen. I just was like, no, don't want anything to do with it. Don't want anything to do with recruiting agents ever again in my life. I said that. I just want to mind my own business, sell houses. And honestly, I just didn't want the corporate, pardon my language, bullshit. So, but I just didn't want to be involved in any of that anymore. So I opened my own independent. They were calling on me, and I just kept saying no. And then I kind of noted, I did start paying attention. I started seeing more industry leaders that I knew. I've known Jay Kender for years. Like I actually used to invite him to come and teach in my region back in the day, like when he was a Coldwell Banker agent. So I knew some of these people that were like the alphas in the group, and most of you know these people. And I'm like, okay, something's going on there. These are smart people. This, maybe I need to look at it. So I started paying attention, digging deeper on my own time, ask questions, a lot of questions. I didn't quite understand the revenue share model or the stock part. Back then we didn't have videos. We didn't even have a slide deck. So what we have now, guys, within our EXP app and all the tools and the attraction resources they've given us, like in the past year, like we didn't have any of that when I was looking at this. And so, in fact, no one could explain to me how to bring my entire team over. And I was in 2 states. So no one even told me there was one cap. Like,
so they were just, like you said, they would just shoot the rev share calculator.
They were the pioneers back then, and either they didn't know themselves or they didn't do a very good job explaining it. I don't know. I really honestly think that it was like it was such the early days that it was all happening so fast. And so no one could really explain it to me. And so I just kept selling houses, right? Like that's what we do. And I just really but someone kept calling me all the time. And then finally, my friend Pete Middleton, who I've known forever. So again, relationships in this business matter. So if it doesn't matter if they're local or if they're nationwide. I respected Pete. He and I had been on many panels together at Keller Williams back in the day as agents. So I respected his business acumen with that. We were also somewhat in the luxury arena when we were both Coldwell Banker back in the day. I just listened to him. And finally I said, yes, you and about 5 other people are talking to me about this company and I'm hearing lots about it. And so he just, he said, no, this is good, Jana, you really need to look at it. So we both started studying it together. And honestly, that's what made me make the leap. I just was finally ready to hear it. And again, it is true. Once you see the model, it's hard to unsee it. So you've heard that saying before. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'm a smart business gal. Like I've always, I got Keller Williams years ago before anyone thought it was cool. And so I'm like, all right, this is the new improved version of Keller Williams. They have done so many things right that maybe Keller Williams didn't quite do right. Or, and it wasn't that whole corporate part was out of the equation. And so revenue share is better than profit share all day long. And so and I knew that because I had my own office, and then I also led other leaders that had their own Keller Williams office. And, it's very difficult to make those offices profitable.
Yeah.
And if you're not profitable, you can't profit share. And so, with our revenue share model, it was so much better. But for me, it wasn't just about the revenue share or anything like that. It was about their core values. I saw their core values, and I don't know if all of you know how many core values EXP has, but there's 9 of them. And early on, when I saw those core values and I studied each of them, and I thought, okay, if this company really does stand for these core values, then this is a great model. And then I started diving in on the economics of being an agent in 2 state teams, paying 1 cap. It just all made sense. It made financial sense because at that time I was holding my license with Coldwell Banker in Florida. And then I was holding my own as an independent broker owner in Indiana, but everything was confusing. The marketing was confusing. If you notice, my logo actually has Northwest Indiana, Southwest Florida on everything that I do because they're feeder markets to each other. So it was difficult for me to market being with 2 different companies. Plus, it just didn't make financial sense. And the efficiency was there with being, one company. I toggle back and forth. I have 1 cap. Everything made sense. And then it wasn't just about me. It was about being able to provide tools and values and systems and everything for my team members as well. So, the team, I wouldn't have been able to offer them a stock account. I wouldn't have been able to offer them the revenue share opportunity. I wouldn't have been able to give them all the training and the education, that EXP offers. So whatever it is that my team members were needing or wanting, I wouldn't be able to do that being an independent broker owner. I mean, I could give them a little, and obviously I have a good value proposition being 29 years in the business, but I can't compete with what EXP offers. And so I just had to be a leader and get out of my way and say, this isn't just good for me and my family. This is good for everybody on my team.
So do you mind me asking, so first of all, how many team members did you have in both locations?
I'm cut off. Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
I feel like I can only see part of my head. So
Oh, we got you. You're good.
Okay. So I had maybe at that time 15. I think I brought over the moment I onboarded, which keep in mind, they didn't even have team onboarding then. And it wasn't an easy process. It took me over a month to onboard.
Yeah.
And at one point I thought, did I make the right decision? Because hello, nobody's, you know what I mean? It was not smooth. I think I started with 15 FLQAs.
Right out of the gate.
That's, out of the gate. So that was interesting because the very next month, the first month I revenue shared, and I'm like, it was like, okay, well, that's kind of nice. And I didn't really expect that. You know what I mean? So, but then it became like, oh, this is kind of fun. And what happened was I called 10 people that I knew across the country and told them what I was getting ready to do. And I said, you need to take a look at this. This is really good. Hey, this is what I'm about to do here. But let me just send you, something. And I think there was a quick little 9-minute video out there at one point. I don't know.
You came in, what was the date you came in?
June 19 of, well, it was 7 years ago. So what was that?
So 2018?
Summer of 18. I made the decision in May, but it took till mid-June to get onboarded. Yeah.
Because I came on April of 2017. At that time, everybody was watching Rob Flick's presentation. Then all of a sudden we had a big conference and Gene did the napkin presentation. A lot of people captured on their phone, and those were kind of the 2 presentations back in 17.
Well, I'd seen the napkin. And what I did is it was still very confusing to me when I joined, but I knew enough this was the right thing to do but I didn't really understand it all. But there was enough of a value proposition there for me to just go all in. And then, so I wanted, when I do something, I do it well. And I like to be, understand it. And that's on my agent business. And so I thought, what do they say? Enthusiasm, right? The last three letters of enthusiasm is IASM, or last four. And that is I am sold myself. So you can't be passionate or enthusiastic about something unless you're totally sold yourself. And so I felt like almost a fraud even telling my friends about what I was doing, until I was really enthusiastic about it. And so I studied it, and then I made the call to about 10 people, and 7 of those 10 actually joined.
Wow.
Just
How quick
because
was
I
that?
told them I'm doing it, this is good, you need to look at this. Didn't even really, I didn't even know that much about it, but I gave them enough and they were like, oh, wow. And they knew that if I had been with a company for, I had been a KW girl believer, they knew I was, all in on that. So for me to say yes to something, it was like they paid attention. And so some of them had been seasoned, more so seasoned than me. And they were like, you know what? This is good. One person had 6 kids. He had been with Remax for 22 years. I told him, and within 2 weeks, he joined.
Wow.
And it was over Christmas. And I'm like, I'm telling you, this is going to help you put your kids through college, give you. And so, and he is proud to say, and he's so glad I made that call to him. And that's the part we have to understand, is that people need us to share this gift. This is a great model, and it's not just for you guys. It is for your friends and the people you care about. And I've had people in tears that are so glad that I've got chills right now. They are so glad that I just said, you got to look at this, friend, because I love you and you need this just as much as I do. And they're just glad that I kind of pushed them, and was Miss Bossy Pants and told them they needed to look at it. But anyway, they kind of teased me about, no, Jana said you need to look at this. So I did. But they're grateful, and their life has changed. Their economic, situation has changed. And they have multiple ways to make money now, and they're not as good as their last sign or their last deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in 2017 when I got started. We were probably in for about 6 months. I remember I was in a truck with a van. A bunch of us were going over to a presentation, and Brent was in the van with us. He was sitting next to me, and I remember he was kind of telling everybody, "Listen, we've got we've got 2 guys about to come over here, and if they do, I'm telling you, it's over. We will bring them all." And they were talking about Jay Kinder and Michael Reese.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Brent had already come over, made a splash. Rob Flick had made a splash.
Right.
Yes, but there was enough big names. So even back in the day when you first
So
heard
I knew Jay, and honestly, if they'd had co-sponsorship back in the day, I would have picked Jay. In fact, if Jay would have called me, I would have picked Jay.
have you told him that?
Oh yeah, he knows. And he knows that I would have been a honey badger, because that's what he is. But he was so busy, and this is another thing, make your list, guys, make your list. And I know you've heard that and it seems simple. He was like, as soon as he saw me, he's like, oh, Jana, he was kicking himself for not calling me. But you can only call so many people, right? And you can only, I wasn't in the guys' circle. I was the girl that they all knew that was, but he just didn't think about calling me. I wasn't in his, but then, yeah. So now what we're doing is now that co-sponsorship is around, I'm actually partnering up with Jay on doing some things together.
Ah,
And, so that it not just him alone, but yeah, I'm like, okay, this makes sense for me to now somehow be in business with Jay as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I love the collaboration of our company. I love it that we all help each other regardless of, obviously you and I, we're not in the same group. I love it. Brent actually showed, I'm not in Brent's group either, but Brent to me showed collaboration. He invites people to, Cabo. Had I never gone to Cabo to really see it all in action, I probably wouldn't have gotten as plugged in. But I do think that, it's important to plug into this company and everything. There is something out there for everyone, and you don't have to do it all. I mean, there's times it's overwhelming for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this company has so much to offer, and I feel like I'm not participating in a lot of the things, but it's impossible to. You have to pick a few things, focus on them. I am on the Luxury Advisory Council for EXP. I'm super proud that me and 4 other people basically built the entire EXP luxury division. And so we were one of the early starters, me, Pete Middleton, Tina Call, Ed Kaminsky, and Janie Coffey. And so we were the 5 that got picked to basically help push it through and build it out. And we didn't have one, and people were like, oh, they're not luxury, and we're like, yeah, we are, we are. It's just that we didn't have anything formal. So we were, so that's one of the things I'm kind of like the grandma of the luxury division. So I've helped with that. So that's been exciting to build. And now, look at, it's helping everyone. It's helping everyone recruit a different level of agent. Because people were getting the pushback. They were like, well, you guys aren't luxury, or you're not popular in my area.
So don't mind me asking right now, because I've got a couple people in the group that are doing luxury. Knowing that you, much as you know about the industry right now, where would you say that we stand in your perspective in luxury compared to the competitors?
Well, I feel our value stack is better than every single one of them. And we could go up against anyone, the Compasses of the world. Keep in mind, all 5 of us came from different backgrounds, and they hand selected us to be on the council, knowing that we had a history and from the various organizations. So when we set out to do this, we set out to design the very best luxury. We knew what each of them had and offered, tools wise, economic model wise, vendor wise, et cetera. And we just designed it to be the best. So I hands down, we can go up against anybody. If your agents are competing, you would have the correct tools to go, to expose those high-end luxury listings. It keeps getting better now. We've hired a VP now that is kind of overseeing everything and running with it. We're affiliated with Lux VT, which now EXP owns Lux VT. I don't know if everyone knows that. And if you don't know what Lux VT is, a lot of those Sotheby's and Compass agents used to use the Lux VT tool. But now EXP owns it. So we have that, but then we also have everything else we offer. So hands down, we can go neck to neck. So if anyone ever had anyone that, first of all, there's a slide deck for EXP. I'm looking at, please share how EXP. So there is a slide deck that all of you would have access to, even if you're not a luxury division member. It's in your, it's available to look at under your attraction tools. So you should look at that and then offer and show that in itself to your possible recruits.
So when you mentioned the VP, Carrie Zaire?
Carrie Zaire. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Zaire. Okay.
It's pronounced Zaire. We like Zaire's on fire. We always say Zaire's on fire. But yeah, she's now our division. She's kind of overseeing everything. So we report in, weekly with her. We are constantly talking about how we can make improvements. So it is in the EXP toolkit. It should be, if it's not, you don't see it. So first of all, if you're not a division member, you're not going to have access to the dashboard. So like you guys all have normal, if you're a regular EXP agent, you're going to have it. But once you become a division member, that luxury division tile or whatever you want to call it gets put on your dashboard. Mm-hmm. And then there's a whole other world out there of all the offerings, from marketing to listing presentations to buyer presentations to, so what I've done is I've just incorporated what I already had, and I took it and incorporated it into mine. But I also just send out by itself the luxury division listing appointment packet. And I can go up, like I'll send it to expireds. I can go up against anyone and beat them. And it doesn't matter that I have my experience and whatnot. But we have created a lot of luxury division agents, like where Wendy Goss is a great example. If any of you know her, she did not have a luxury background. She had never sold a luxury house. I think she used to average between 300,000-500,000. She joined the division, implemented the tools, and has taken like 14 like $5 to $20 million listings in the past year. It's amazing what she's done just with our tools. So she was able to beat people out, and then it gave her the confidence to just now. And so now she's focusing on teaching luxury, how to build a luxury business. So
And what's her name? We may reach out to her every Tuesday. Tomorrow, we always have agents come in that are usually icon agents and up and have them come and train on something specifically. Would you
yeah,
want to do that on a Tuesday, or would you rather maybe reach out to her one day and I could see if she'd like to come over?
I don't know Wendy's schedule. I don't know her super well. I know that Brent just had her come and speak in California.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot out there, but she's the perfect testimonial of what our division can do for someone that never had a lick of luxury experience. And
What's Wendy's last name?
I think it's Goss, Goss. You can find her on Workplace, I'm sure.
Okay.
So
Well,
she's
let me take you
one
down
of
a
the
different.
many testimonials that we've been able to create. And I think she has her own coaching program, to be honest with you. So I'm not trying to, push you into Wendy's paid program or anything like that. But I can assure you that, we built the division so that the tools are there for anyone, whether you are already in luxury and you just want to level up. Like, I've sold, I say big or small, we sell them all. So I don't just do luxury. Like in Northwest Indiana, luxury for us is 750,000. I'm in Naples, Florida. In Naples, Florida, it's 5 million. So, I need, but I'm the perfect example is you can take it in small town USA and you can level up your business, level up your price point. You can land those listings. If you're competing against people that have been in the business like me for 25, 30 years, and you think, I can't compete with her because she's been around forever and she's like has a brand. Yes, you can. You can take this presentation, you can go up against those veterans and you can beat them out.
That's awesome. Let's do this, Jana. First of all, I appreciate all that info. We may, whether I'll reach back out to you about Tuesday or with Wendy, but let's go a different direction here to go back
Okay.
down the rev share because I'm curious now. When you brought your team over, did you immediately? Did it all happen in the first year? Did you start to build the rev share, or did it also? You talked about you went to an event. Almost everybody I know had to go to an event before before the light bulb went off. They saw a certain amount of people cross stage going, "What? 1 year and they're over 10,000 a month before they finally engage." What made you engage with RevShare and when did you start really building it?
I knew the potential of rev share because I was with Keller Williams, and to this day, I still get profit share. So it's not near as good as rev share, but I've been gone from Keller Williams for over 11 years, and I still bring in $60,000-$70,000 a year, I would say, even though I've been gone from them.
Yeah.
And have not ever recruited to them. I've been gone that long. So I knew the power of it. I knew that it was real. So I think day one, I was aware of it. I knew that if I wanted to go after it like that, so I tried to set it up from the start to simultaneously do both. I'm not going to quit selling houses. That's what I do for a living. That's in my blood. I built a business. I would be a fool to let that go. So I purposely thought, all right, I'm going to list and sell houses. And even if I never recruit, at least my team's going to benefit from what this company brings. But I thought, no, I obviously thought about it day one, or I wouldn't have called 10 of my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then instantly when I got them excited about it, it really wasn't about the money for me and the monthly rev share. It was like, oh my gosh, my friends love this company too. And then we were all like collaborating and it's just kind of infectious. And then you want to help people. So you just keep helping people. And next thing you know, you're being rewarded financially by helping people. And so then it just kind of happened gradually. I will tell you though, the biggest mistake I made was not being loud and proud the first 6 months that I joined. Because like one of my friends said, well, are you even going to announce on Facebook that you have joined EXP? And for whatever reason, I just hadn't really told the world. So I would say, start now. It doesn't matter if you've been with the company 3 years, 5 years, 3 months, just learn about it, be passionate about it, not be afraid to talk about it. look at the opportunities that are right in front of you, because so many of us don't do that. Like if you're having deals with agents, just say something to them. Would you be open to sitting down with me and kind of like, you would be a great EXP agent. I mean, it doesn't really have to be a hard sell.
Yeah.
But like so many people don't get asked, like you think that they would never join, right? Like I'm sure people thought I was unrecruitable when I was a KW girl, right? There's a lot of people that they say they're unrecruitable, and now look at them, they're with EXP. So,
Yeah.
just not being afraid to go for it. But yeah, put a plan together in place. I go in spurts. I will be honest. In these past 7 years, I've been kind of lazy about it. One of the key things I try to do is I name my days. I can't take a full day. Like Brent, I remember him saying he took Fridays, right? That was kind of his day.
Yeah.
So I did kind of start taking Fridays to kind of like make that my day that I paid attention.
Well,
just
that might be
here.
go to a different printer.
Oh, and then so now like Mondays are massive Mondays. So I try to move the needle forward just very small. I can't take a whole day because I'm still listing and selling houses. I'm still negotiating. I'm still leading my team. I'm still in the throes of all of that. So like I'll think, okay, who could I call today that could make a massive impact on someone or a massive move? So maybe I'll call a team leader that I know that has a nice team and just reach out to one person. Like you don't have to do all day long or 3-hour time blocks. You can just do one thing. Tuesdays are talented Tuesdays. I try to find someone who's super talented that maybe I could pick up the phone and call. Like I just try to do something every day to move the needle forward. And that seems to work for me because I am not like, you got to do this in 5 hours or you got to do this. And that's not how I work.
Well, let's go to those phone calls right there, because you made an interesting comment. If you're going to spend time doing it, you're going after team leaders, independent brokers for the most part. It kind of sounds like you're trying to massive Monday, but just different things. Let's just go right here from scratch. Take us up to present. And now you kind of do this in spurts. I think a lot of us have done that. You want to stay consistent, but you might
now now I've hired someone, and
Okay.
I hired someone to actually help me with leverage. And honestly, it's to hold me accountable. Because if I have an employee that is supposed to be just helping me with my revenue share, like, I always embrace leverage. Here I'm preaching leverage on a team, right? Because I have listing agents, I have buyer agents, I have a closing manager, I have a marketing. If I embrace leverage on my real estate side of things, why wouldn't I embrace leverage on the attraction business as well? So I view this as a separate business, and I try to set it up like what makes the most sense. And I'm going to tell you, the skill set that got you to be a successful agent and build your agent business is also the same identical skill set that's going to build your revenue share business or your organization or whatever you want to call it. And so I hired someone. She's not licensed, but she used to work on my real estate team. So she knows me. She knows how I work. She knows how I think. She knows my values. She knows the team side of things. And what's happened is, if sometimes people will call, sometimes they're a good fit for my team.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not. Like, you know what? No, I think you should be independent. So it doesn't matter to us if they're on our team or independent. But it has helped me recruit more agents, because some people don't want to be on my team at all. They want to be an independent. And then some people, say, no, I'd really rather be on your team. So, it's helped us.
What is your breakdown today, your team? I know you said you brought 10 to 15. What does it look like today, your team?
It's about the same. I think Melissa gave you those stats. I didn't even know all those stats, to be honest with you. I think we only have 17 of the 235 or 40 people. I think I'm around 240. Only 17 are on my team.
Gotcha. Okay. So today, you got somebody kind of helping, you said hold you accountable, possibly even drum up, hey, here's some other people you might want to reach out to. So if you're reaching out today, let's just come down here for the last 20 something minutes. get a lot of people always want to know, what do you do? What do you say, when you get hold of them? So if you are reaching out to agents, whether she gives them to you, you drum them up, what would you say to everybody here if they're going to pick up the phone and call somebody they've done a transaction with? What would you say, if you don't mind me asking, not to put you on the spot, but if you're picking up the phone calling me and you just looked at my production and so forth, do you do
So,
that kind of thing?
yeah, and you don't have to have had a transaction. Just for example, I just had I don't do a lot of transactions anymore in Indiana. I haven't gone on a listing appointment since 2006.
Okay.
So
Okay.
my whole team operates. So I'm not doing the day-to-day transactions in Indiana anymore. I
Okay.
do them in Florida, but but I just stepped in for someone who had a death in the family, and so I have been negotiating a few offers for her. I actually attended a couple closings for her. And what did I do? The opportunity was in front of me, and I'm like, I just went for it. I actually brought the slide deck printed. Do you guys ever print your slide decks out? Do you know where to find the slide deck?
You're talking about for RevShare, right? You had the RevShare slide deck?
The entire EXP slide deck. It's the USA slide deck.
Yeah.
So, but that's a simple thing right there. First of all, go learn how to find it easily, have it bound, printed. I keep a couple of those with me all the time. And just in case I want to hand it to an agent that maybe I just had a deal with or saw, and let them take it home and kind of study it, because again, they could put it on their coffee table, but it has your name on it. And even if it takes them 3 years to finally look at it, you know what I mean? At least you gave it to them, and then you just continue to follow up with them. But it's honestly, it's simple. It's just not being afraid to say, hey, listen, I had a great deal with you, or the guy I was with, I'm just like keeping in touch with him. And then he knows exactly, because I tried to recruit him 3 years ago and he said no to me. And then when he saw me at the closing, I know he thought, oh, here she comes again. But you know what? I'm building that relationship. And then like he even knew, like I hinted, like, well, we get paid instantly, right? Like he had to take the check back to his Keller Williams office.
Ah.
And he wondered why I didn't get a check. And I kind of like, he knew exactly. I mean, I was just dripping on all the things that I knew that would be valuable to him. So it's just not being afraid to ask and talk to them and invite them to events. I had another gal reach out to me recently, and 2 days later, we had a luxury certification course that we were offering, and we also had an AI course that our organization was offering. So I just said, hey, why don't you just come and be my guest? I would love the opportunity for you to be my guest on these 2 things, because they were both going to be great for her business, right? She told me she wanted to do more luxury business, and she told me, she wanted to like learn YouTube and being cutting edge with technology. And I'm like, you know what? Here's 2 classes. Just why don't you come as my guest? I didn't even have to do anything. I invited her afterwards. She called me and she's signing up this week. So it's like, and get this, guys, I asked her how she found me. She reached out to me. She emailed me to talk about EXP. And I asked her on that Zoom, we had a Zoom call. I have a lot of Zooms, and my gal, Melissa, is on there with me. And so we set it up and we're like, hey, I'm just curious. How did you find me? And she said, Chat GPT. She chatted and asked for, I think she asked for like luxury age. I'm going to find out exactly what she chatted, but I didn't ask for it at the moment. But I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like that's how someone found me. So, how are people finding you on your agent business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they finding you through Google? Are they asking chat who the top agent is in that town, or what? I mean, however they're finding you with your agent business is also how they could possibly find you on your attraction business. So like I have a website now that for my own organization, we're trying to do better at having some search engine optimization for our website. On my actual Jana Caudill team website for my agent business, and also in Florida, I have Jana Sells Florida is my website for there. On those pages, we have something about a career in real estate. So for sure, on your own agent business, if you are still listing and selling and you want to improve that, you need something on there about a career in real estate. not just necessarily joining your team. And in fact, if you go to janacaudillteam.com, my Indiana website, that actually has something about wanting to join EXP or wanting to join the Jana Caudill team. We have it both on there. Because again, I don't care, but it's on there, and it also helps with Google and your SEO. I have Google My Business on both state teams, so all of that kind of helps. And I think honestly, that's probably how she found me. She probably somehow Google picked up with chat. I don't.
Well, let me ask this: if you got 240, do you have a 1, 2, 3 generals that are building, or how did it get to 240 agents?
The one guy I told you about, the Remax guy, I think he loved it the moment he did it. He just happened to he had been with Remax for 22 years. The rest of them, when he made the move, they took notice. They were like, wow, John doesn't do something, unless it's a smart business move. So then all his Remax friends kind of started paying attention. So we recruited, like one day he lined me up and I came in and just met with like 10 of them.
Awesome.
And then so he's probably got about 60 of those. So he would be considered a general for me. Just various ones maybe have 30, 25, 30.
Which is awesome.
And then, so now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pay attention to my overall group, because I've remained stagnant. I'll be honest with you. I've remained stagnant this past year. I didn't grow, but I didn't go backwards. Like a lot of people went backwards.
Oh yeah.
And so I was disappointed that I didn't have huge growth, but then I've been told that no, if you can like maintain like this past year, my agent business grew this past year. And we weren't down in spite of a bad market, but my rev share didn't really grow. But then again, it didn't go backwards.
Yeah.
So I'm just paying attention now. What we're trying to do is study our group, and I'm acknowledging the producers. I try to reach out. We try to communicate with them. We're doing a newsletter to them, monthly. We're trying to, congratulate the ones that maybe iconed. We call out the ones that did recruit someone, like congratulations on, to so-and-so for, welcome. And we welcome the new people. So we're just kind of like honestly doing what I used to do in my brokerage, only I'm doing it now for my organization. And keep in mind, when I had a Keller Williams office, the most agents I ever had was 110. And that took forever to get to 110 agents. So, it's not, so I feel like I'm not doing that great at 235. Cause you hear all these big numbers, but regardless if you have 2 or 20, it's just do it consistently, time on the task over time. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? So I remember when I had about 70 people, and I remember thinking, oh, wow, like that just kind of happened naturally. And then it was like, okay, I'm going to put a little more effort, right? Because whatever we focus on increases, whatever we focus on expands. We know that. So it's like, if you can just take a little bit of time and just give it to it. It's not like you have to have another job. You just do it simultaneously, with it. So are most of you producers, are you guys, show of hands, or are you still in the game listing and selling?
Yeah. Rick,
what would you say the breakdown is?
Yeah.
Put in the chat if you don't mind. Are you just rev share? Are you both? Just put both if you're both. If you're attraction, just attraction, that's great. Like I personally can't imagine giving up my sales though.
Yeah. So you guys put in the chat if you're still
they're
doing
putting
production.
both.
If you're doing both, you do both, or you're just doing rev share?
I'm brand new and I'm growing both. Absolutely. And so it can be done. There's not a lot of people that are doing it though, right? Because you see some of these that are just rev sharing. And then you see some that are just agent. Just do both. You can do both. It's not that difficult to set it up. You just have to time block certain things, or you can simultaneously do it when you have deals with people. For me, I'm a better recruiter outside of my area. because I've been in the business for 29 years. So I know a lot of agents that are with companies throughout, the United States. Local in my backyard, to be honest with you, I'm not very well liked.
Is that because you've been whooping their
I've been
butt?
number one for 25 of those 29 years. So what do you think? They don't like me so well. Now, I could help them. And, I think they have a certain level of respect for me because they realize, oh, she's not going anywhere, right? Like, okay, but in Indiana, like, it's not always easy for me to recruit. So, but what I have to get over is that, like, I'm 60. The guy that I talked to, he's probably 35. He's the future. I need to go after that younger generation, not so much my people my age. I mean, yeah, people my age need like a better exit plan and whatnot, but I need to get those young lions that are still going to be in the business for 25 or 30 years.
So let's talk about that for just a minute. So if you're not recruited in your local area, which kind of get it, but at the same time, if you called me and you're number one and you're calling just to lend a hand to potentially help me or my team, I can't imagine why I wouldn't be open to it. If the number one person, anyway, let's go to the next.
And that's what I need to get over because
Yeah,
you might be intimidated by me, right?
Yeah.
You don't even know me, but you know that I'm the girl on the signs, or I'm on the billboards, or I have my own moving truck. Like, you know that I'm here. I don't think I'm here, but I need to get over the fact that I'm a normal person. You need to get to know the real me, and so that's what I need. So I have my own hang up that I don't want to call him, but I don't know why I'm afraid to call him. You might love it that I reached out to you, being who I am and that I have an established name in the business, and you might have a certain level of respect for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost sitting there thinking on your part, whether it's a text or an email you draft about, my goal is to help one team leader or one independent every month grow their sales, back to where you're at, something where you're almost teasing them a little bit. Reach out to me if you're open to have a Zoom meeting, and let me show you what we're doing with independents and team leaders to grow their business. Just having your name and throwing something out that you might have a couple fish go, oh my gosh, she's reaching out asking
they love it. Like I'm a texter. So like sometimes I'll get fired up and go, I'm just going to text 5 people right now. And I'll just like text them something like, hey, it works,
But I would think with your credibility and stuff, well, let's go to the ones that don't know you then, right? Because a lot of people, if they are doing rev share, if they've been doing it for a while, you've kind of gone through your warm market other than new transactions and who you might meet out and about. But if you're picking up, do you, like right now, you said, if you're not calling them on your local market, how are you reaching out to these other agents in a different market? How do you do that?
I absolutely don't know them at all. Like I'm not Facebook friends with them. I didn't meet them at my past companies. They're just totally cold, like have no idea who they are.
Yeah, I mean, we can go both. Let's start right there. If you're going to
first and foremost, cool. It's like a buyer and a seller. I was always a marketer. I didn't like to cold call for business. Yeah. I wanted them to call me. So I would market.
Okay.
And let them call me because I don't want to pick up the phone and call.
That's still where you're at today then? You pretty much have
That's still where I'm at. And so so anybody new that doesn't know me, I'm getting new people that don't know me, but it's because of my marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. It's because I have a website. It's because I'm on Google. It's because I'm tech savvy enough to keep up.
Yeah.
So regardless, I've been doing it 29 years, but I've evolved with technology. And so that's why you have, and so, yeah.
Okay. Well, if whatever you do more of, so if there's somebody who knows you, whether it's through social media, whatever, do you just continue to try to connect through more social media? Do you shoot them a text to invite them to an event, a Zoom? How do you grow it? On those days that you go, you know what, I'm going to do some rev share today. Do you just start reaching out to people you've connected with on social media?
It's not if I'm going to put any attention to it right now, it's to people that I already know.
Okay.
And that know me. However, I'm in the process of hiring a VA. I've never had VAs in my life except for the past 6 months. Now I have 2 and I'm getting ready to hire a third. And the third VA is going to be someone who calls agents for me. Because recently I had an experience, someone in my local town is joining EXP, and of course they're not under me or anything. and they picked somebody who was just, they happened to call them from another state, didn't even know them. And so I'm like, okay, like that's silly. I need to be, so I am hiring someone to make some calls for me to tee up an appointment. And if
Are
they
they,
make
is that a local VA or are you going out of the country?
out of the country.
Mm.
And I'm using We Clone You. I've had a really good experience with the company called We Clone You. And I just hired like you hire them to help you find these people, and then we interview them and they send you, but it's been worth the money invested to help them. And the candidates have been really good. So right now I have a marketing person that is from Brazil, and I have an inside sales agent for my team, real estate team. She's calling seller leads from our seller system. And she's, we just hired her, and she's from Jamaica. So, yeah, so the next hire that we're looking for right now is an attraction ISA, basically.
Yeah. So I'd imagine have to speak pretty decent English to be
Very
making
much so.
outbound calls.
And so We Clone You, what I love about it is they send you their resume, they send you a video of them, so I can listen to the way they speak, and then we have an interview and then hire. So we've had a hard time finding just this right person, but for now it's just Melissa or myself, and it's just kind of organically happening. And so we're trying to put a few more things in place to be more consistent and to also have them, make outbound calls, because I didn't ever really do too many of those unless I knew the person.
Yeah. So Melissa, I know you're on here as well. Melissa, are you helping with the attraction? Is it more through emails, texts, and stuff, or do you ever pick up and call people you might know?
So I kind of sorry, my voice is a little, got something over the weekend. I am just really kind of Jana's right hand. And as any of the newer agents that are reaching out to us, I'm always that first point of contact for them and kind of walk them through the EXP proposition value. And then we get together with Jana and do a 3-way typically with them. But again, like Jana was saying, ours has been really organic at this point in time. We're just now going to start putting forth the effort on kind of more of that email, calling, texting, campaign type of aspect.
Yeah. It's, I guess there's no wrong way to do this at all, right? I think we're all realizing you can do anything. Like you said, I think just getting the courage to reach out, because such a, I guess my thought after 8 years of doing this, it's a timing thing, right? You could call that agent today who don't have anything to do with even talking to you. They just, whatever, things are going well. I don't have time. They're on their own little road. Then all of a sudden you call them tomorrow. They just lost a listing. They just raised their fees, $85 more a month, or whatever. Same person takes the call tomorrow. They wouldn't take it today, and they'd be open. That's how I always tell myself when I'm picking up the phone and making calls. It's just a timing thing. Just call them. You're looking for the one looking for us. So I know you guys are about to start digging in. So let's see if we can wrap up. I know Kelly's
What,
got,
you want any questions or
go ahead. Kelly got a quick question.
Yeah, I put a couple in the chat there, Jana. One would be co-sponsorship. Can you describe, because I'm actively looking for co-sponsorship partners, your value as a co-sponsor? Can you describe that?
Oh, well, 29 years of real estate experience, and I've sold over $1 billion, and I've, done that with 4 kids and, managing, and now I'm in 2 states and everything. So I think my real estate experience, you know what I mean? My knowledge and all that, like, being able to take someone's business, probably what I'm really good at is like wherever you're at, agent business wise, I can look at it and I can see all the holes. I know exactly what you need to do to go to another level. And I've been able to successfully mentor and coach and lead people to go. In fact, I've helped a lot of big teams, like people that do 2-3 million in GCI commissions, 2-3 million a year in commissions. Maybe they were at 500,000, 750,000 in that year. And they're like, how can I get to here? Like, how can I go over $1 million in GCI, or how can I net $1 million? Right? Like, I've been able to help a team lead set up a business and leverage it and put the right things in place to help them get there. So big jumps like that. Through the years, I've just have that gift, I guess. but I've done it myself, right? Like I've learned it, I've done it, been there, done that type thing. I think luxury, I mean, going into a brand new market, let's face it, I moved to Florida, Naples, Florida, when I had my team running in Indiana, and I just wanted a better place to live, and wanted to get out of Northwest Indiana in the cold. And then I've been able to launch a business there. So showing up in a new market, not knowing a single soul, and being able to, generate a business. So I'm good at that. I'm a nice person, I care about people. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't have a value proposition as a co-sponsor in any way, shape, or form. I think that it's just partnering with someone, energy, bringing a passion to what I do. I love this company. I believe in this company. And I'm planning on ending my career, yes, I've been doing it 29 years, but I'm not done. Like I'm just going to go out, probably putting up a for sale sign in the yard, or negotiating a deal. So I just want to have an impact on people and I'm a giver. I truly believe that you win in life by helping other people. And I feel like EXP is a gift, and it's like you're not sharing the gift. If you know how great this company is, you should be sharing how great this company is. This is truly as a gift. And
I think Melissa put it perfect for you there. Jana has a way of digging and learning their pain points and how to help them see a different angle.
okay, there you go. She's my
There you
chat
go.
GPT. But I can see something in someone. I've inspired a lot of young agents, new agents, to have a successful career.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that I was a mom of 4 and able to build a business while having kids, and so I have that. I'm able to bring balance, you know what I mean, to it
Yes.
all, and not just work. Like I truly work hard, play hard. You know what I mean? I enjoy the journey along
Yeah.
the way.
Well, and you've had so much depth too, Jana, as a broker owner and as a franchise owner. When you're talking specifically to an independent owner that's looking, how
Mhm.
do you identify and get to their pain points? Do you have anything special there?
Well, I probably know them because I experienced them firsthand. So I kind of know their, what they probably are. They don't always want to tell you, and maybe they are embarrassed because their company's not making money. It's very difficult to be profitable. Honestly, whether it's a franchise owner or an independent, it's hard. And so, if you can peel the onion and get them to, share with you what's really going on, but it's going to take a while. You know what I mean? They're not going to come right out and tell you that they're losing money, or that they're not, or they're hating their life. But that there's some major pain points going on. Same way with a successful team. Like in your local marketplace, don't think that they've got, just because they're listed and selling a lot of houses, they have their own pain points. They may have no quality of life, right? They may just be like, I was on that hamster wheel. I know what it's like to be on that hamster wheel and be miserable. I know what it's like also to be a team lead of a team and not, you're bringing in a lot of money, but you're not making a lot of money. And I think a lot of the teams that we're hearing right now, like, they're not profitable. They're probably spending too much. I've been there myself, where it's coming in, but it's also going out, right? And then at the end of the day, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't make any money, But yeah, so I don't know what. I guess if you had certain ones, I'm happy to like give you some pointers. Like if you tell me what you already know, but you got to ask a lot of questions, but you also kind of have to assume some of the stuff, and then just maybe drip on some of the gifts that would be helpful to them.
Yeah.
Without calling it out, saying, I know you're not profitable. I know you're miserable. I know that, I mean, you're not going to do that. Right. And, people are proud, especially if they built something and it was a long time legacy. Let's say it was, and their name's attached to it. They don't have to get rid of their brand. We don't want it to be like, it has to be EXP bigger than lights. Right. if they worked hard to build that brand and their team, for me, for example, like my brand is the Jana Caudill team, right? To me, like if someone would have said, you can't have your name bigger than, or whatever, and it has to be about our company, then I'm not going to be affiliated with them. I like the fact that EXP allows me to do both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's about my team and my local brand and everything. And so, Melissa says it better than me, but like EXP is the umbrella, right? Like they're just the platform that allows me to be the agent, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, let's do this. I've got a meeting at 10. I don't know if anybody's in that faster track. I know it just started a couple minutes ago. I'm going to jump over. Always a sponge, right? Trying to continue to learn. But
That's
I'm going to
awesome.
say this, Jana and Melissa, thank you guys for
Thank
both
you.
coming out here. Sincerely appreciate it. If we can do anything to help you guys, let us know. If you guys want to co-sponsor with these guys, feel free to reach out to Jana. She's given us her website and stuff. And the We Clone You is very interesting. I may check that out as well. So thank you. Once I get the video later today or tomorrow, I'll send it back over to you guys. Otherwise, thank you very much, you guys. Have an incredible day, and I'll get that stuff to you guys later. All right, Jana, Melissa?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
You guys
take
have a
care.
wonderful,
Bye.
blessed day.
Blessed,
Thanks,
guys.
Jana.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.